Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I am George. We're all George. So tonight I want to talk about what happened with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is barely hanging on to 50,000. So what is going on right now? Why did we have a 10% crash out of the blue? So that's what I'm going to discuss today. And also what you guys should concentrate on. And that is the bigger picture. And you definitely want to ignore the FUD. There's a lot of FUD. There's a lot of panic right now, and that's what you need to avoid. All right, so let's get started. Thanks for tuning in. 2 streams every day, and I actually released a video this afternoon, so that's 3 videos, but 11:30, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, so make sure you hit that notification bell. Follow me on Twitter and also Facebook and also Instagram. All right. Super chat's ready. Thank you. A lot of people in this chat already. A lot of people panicking. What is going on? Well, I'll tell you guys exactly what's going on. Let me change my screen here. All right. So looking at Bitcoin, we're at 51,300. And earlier today, after my stream this morning, things were looking pretty good. We were hovering around 55,000. And then, boom, we started coming down in a big way and came back down in a big way. And then we actually hit about 50,500 before settling around 52-ish. And now we just hit 50,800. Now we're kind of stuck in that range right now between 52 and 50. Let's just call it that, right? So Bitcoin is hanging in there. At 50, right where we are now. People are wondering where it's gonna go and so forth. I'll look at that in a little bit, but let's get to the crux of the matter. What exactly happened? What drove everything down? I think you guys know by now, unless you did not pay attention to anything that people said in the chat or watched any news or anything. It's because of this. So in the middle of the afternoon, basically right after I streamed, right, Joe Biden came out and proposed a capital gains tax hike going up to about 39.6%. Let's just round it up to 40%. And the purpose for this is to fund education and childcare. So this is basically a wealth tax. So this is meant to tax anyone or Americans that's earning more than $1 million. Okay, so capital gains, I'm not an accountant, okay, but this is what I understand, what I know. So seek professional help if you're confused. But there is short-term gains and long-term gains in terms of taxes. Short-term gains is anything that you buy or sell or trade within 1 year, and that is taxed at your bracket, your tax bracket. Now, anything over 1 year is capped at 20%, at least right now. What Biden wants to do is raise that so it goes from 20 to 39.6, so basically double. And this is for the wealthy people that are making above $1 million. So that came out, and as soon as this came out, Wall Street crashed. Like the Dow was just went down immediately. NASDAQ, S&P, everything went down. And Bitcoin came down with it. Now, this is not the only reason why Bitcoin went down, but once this started, guess what? The whales decided to take advantage and liquidate some more longs, and that's exactly what happened. It doesn't look as bad as this liquidation at $3 billion plus, but still, you could see this is at $500 million, $530 million of longs liquidated once again. So again, because of some sell-off, and then you had extra pressure pushing things downwards. Of course, you have more liquidations. And I'm talking about leverage longs, okay? Not just normal longs, not like if you're holding. This is people that play with futures and options, and they're leveraging. And when they get liquidated, it's a big sell pressure because exchanges basically just cancels your contract and sells off what you have. And then obviously it's a cascading effect, right? So that, along with the news, push everything down. And that's where we are right now. Right? So is this a big concern? Well, people that have actually studied this, people that know about this a lot more than me, for example, Jim Cramer says people are are overblowing this. That the idea that Biden has 50 senators that'll vote for this is just fanciful, according to Jim. And other people also feel the same way, that this proposal, this is not a law, this is not a new tax law, this is just a proposal, is not going to pass. So that is actually why, if you look at CNBC, now the futures for tomorrow are actually green. So this was like overblown. Basically, people panicked. They didn't like what they want. They didn't like this capital gains tax hikes proposal, and that's how things started, right? But here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. There's a lot of FUD right now. And even before this happened, there's just a lot of FUD. People tell me. People send me stuff. People send me articles. People tell me, hey, this guy is saying we're going to go down to the 40s, right? So there's a lot of FUD being spread around already. There's just people that are somehow doubting the market, that thinks that we are somehow in April coming to a peak of Bitcoin season or a bull cycle. And that's just simply not true. But when you have people spreading doubt like that and FUD, and then you add it on top of everything else, then of course people start second guessing themselves and second guessing the market. And then of course leads to more panic selling and of course leads to more sell-offs, right? So what I want to stress is you got to pay attention to the bigger picture. Why is Bitcoin going up? Why did it go up at all, right? From 2020, from its low of 3,800 to where it is now, even at 50,000, but we were as high as 63, 64,000. Why did it go up? Is it because it just magically went up? No, there's many reasons for it. And one is because people came to a conclusion that the endless printing by the governments, including ours, by Powell and everyone else, is unsustainable. Bitcoin is a hedge. It's an inflation hedge. And it's also greatest store of value that we have right now. And because of that, institutions came in, public trade companies came in, guys like Michael Saylor came in, and of course, retail investors all came in. And none of those things have changed. So let me show you. What am I talking about? Well, first, let's look at this chart or this list, Bitcoin treasuries, which shows you every single public trade company there is, how much Bitcoin they have, how much they bought, right? And not only that, also in investment companies and it's everyone in general, mining companies, crypto companies, wallet, companies, and just public trade companies and institutions. This list continues to grow and grow and grow. This list is not getting smaller. These companies are not selling off. They're adding more and more Bitcoins to their reserves. So this is one big example. When these companies all FOMO'd in recently, and they have basically accumulated about 10% of the circulating supply out there, that's a big deal. And these guys are not day trading. They're not swing trading. They're simply holding for the reasons I've said before. So this list keeps increasing. And then look at everything else out there. What else is there? Well, articles like this, Gemini's custody service have doubled since January. Why do you think it has doubled? It's because you have a lot of people that have bought a lot of Bitcoin and crypto and they want to safely secure it, right? This is going up. This is not going down. This is not a story where, Gemini's custody service has lost $25 billion. No, it has doubled and it keeps going up. And it's the same thing with BitGo, which is also a custody service and also an insurance company. They went from a measly 100 million to 600 million because they want to make the big time holders comfortable holding their Bitcoin in their custody. So that's a big deal. So that means there's a lot of big time Bitcoin holders that are actually utilizing the service. And this is why they're increasing. And of course, on the retail side, you still have like PayPal. And now the PayPal's Venmo also allows crypto trading. And you could buy as little as $1 worth of Bitcoin through Venmo. I didn't know that until recently. This adds basically 70 million users. 70 million users gives them access to buy Bitcoin and crypto whenever they want. And this is on top of PayPal's own app and system, which offers 335 million users access to buy crypto, right? So these things are big. These things are big. Not only that, PayPal not only allows people to trade, but also allows merchants. There's 35 million merchants to accept Bitcoin as a payment system. So this is also increasing usage and adoption. And of course, you have derivatives like Bitcoin ETF, which has climbed up to $1.28 billion within a very short amount of time. This is how much Bitcoin they actually hold and able to offer shares for the ETF. And same thing, Ethereum's ETF, which just came out a day ago, is already at $33 million, right? Why are all these numbers going up? They're going up because there's interest. And based on what I said before, people are recognizing Bitcoin as a store of value, as a hedge against inflation, right? Everyone wants a piece of Bitcoin. Everyone wants a piece of not only Bitcoin, but also blockchain technology. They love the idea of decentralization. People don't trust what they're seeing now with centralized systems, with finance, the banks and central banks and the regulators and everyone else in between. You know what? There's a better way. There's a better way, and that's the decentralized way, right? May not be perfect right now, but people are trying to work and make things better and come up with something that's more fair and for the people, right? So everyone is getting involved. This is the fundamentals. This is what I cover. Like literally every day I cover the fundamentals, right? Not so much TA and all that stuff. But when you pay attention to this and you realize how much money and adoption and growth there is, even within a short amount of time, but we know it's a lot more than that, then you realize that it's really, 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 really silly, to be worried about a small drop like this. And some of you guys will say, well, George, this is not a small drop. It actually is. It actually is. Let's not forget, I'm zoomed in on a 15-minute chart, but if you go to the day chart, let's not forget, we had this incident happen not too long ago. This was less than a month ago when the same kind of thing happened, roughly from the same top to the same bottom, right? So it has happened. It wasn't years ago. It was roughly 1 month ago. And if you go back another month, do we have something like that? Yes. We had something similar from 60,000 all the way down to 42,000. So yes, this has happened time and time and time again. And even before that, when we were under 40,000, we also had an experience from 40,000 down to 28,000. But people tend to forget that. That's all within this year. That's January, February, and March, right? So for people that think that, oh man, this is such a big drop, we've never seen this before. No, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. We have seen it time and time again. And you know what? Every time it has happened, guess what? It comes right back up, right? So I do expect the same thing to happen this time around. So the name of the game right now is, if you're going to be in crypto, you believe in holding it for life-changing wealth and you believe in holding it for long term, what you want to do is do the opposite of what your emotions are telling you, which is to panic sell. Sure, can we go down more? Yes. But when you panic sell, you regret it. And a lot of times you make big mistakes afterwards. And sometimes panic selling is a mistake in itself. What you want to do, which is a lot less stressful and something that has worked for basically for an entire existence of Bitcoin, is simply dollar cost average and buy and hodl. That is it. Regardless if things go sour, go down, you simply hodl, because we know Bitcoin is definitely here to stay and it's going to go much higher than where it is now. And you know what? In the last 11 years, right, if you just held, you would have made money, and you would have made more money than if you had to try to time top or bottom like a lot of traders want you to think. But all the richest people in Bitcoin are holders. That's it. They just got in very early and bought a ton, and they just simply held it. It's the same thing with altcoins nowadays. A lot of people have been watching me since 2017, early 2017. And, you go down the list, these big caps, they were pennies in 2017. People that held Binance Coin from $1, $2, to where it is now, $481. Same thing from people that held Cardano at 2 cents, 5 cents. now to 110. And the list goes on and on and on and on. Even my story with Litecoin back in 2014. I held Litecoin until it went down to $4, and I got out at $4, but it went down as low as $1, and since then it's gone up to $242. And it's the same thing with VeChain. You could have got it for sub pennies, not even a penny, sub pennies, right? And the people that made the most from these altcoins are simply holders, not traders, holders. They believe in a project, they know the potential, they bought in early, and they simply held. And many of them became multimillionaires because of it, right? So it's the same thing. It's not just Bitcoin, it's also the altcoins too. So the name of the game right now is simply ignore the FUD, look at what's happening around the world, look at the fundamentals, the macro factors like I like to call it, right? And basically practice the same thing you guys have been doing for a very long time. And that is to buy the dips, okay? Sprout your buys, buy the dips, hold and wait, and that is it. It's that simple, and the strategy works. Trust me, it does work. All right, so that's what I want to get off my chest. There's really no other news. You know, obviously, you know, this tax hike proposal really scared some people. People really did not like it. Caused a sell-off, a cascading effect, but we could see Wall Street is already recovering from it because they just don't think this go past anyways. So there's a very, very good chance that Bitcoin also flips around and that 50,000 could be the low point, just like before. I would not be surprised. We see this go right back up tomorrow. But in case I'm wrong and we do go lower, where could we go? Well, the next two support points, there was one at 47,000. There's another one around 43,000, 44,000, right around there, right? So if we do break 50,000, those would be the 2 points I say, you know, Bitcoin could head to, right? But there's no reason to think that it's going to go any lower than where it is now. And plus, nothing fundamentally changed. Nothing fundamentally changed. It was just a scare, and the whales decided to liquidate some more longs, which is why I always say, do not go greedy and do not go long. Even in my Patreon group, I'm not going to name names, but people watching know who I'm talking about. There's one person that's so sure at 53,000, he's like, I'm doing a 20x long. And I'm like, watch. It's going to go to the point where you will be liquidated. And that's exactly what happened. But he didn't listen. So he decided to do another 20x long. And I'm like, bro, you're trying to kill the market and kill yourself. There are some people that are so addicted to longs, especially when you get liquidated, because you have this inner desire to make it back. So then you take more risks. So that has happened to me, to countless others. That is why going leverage longs is not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Just don't do it. And this gives ammunition to the whales because they could see this. They could see the numbers and they could drive things low, just like this ridiculous bar right here that's cut off of my, by my camera. But this was a $3 billion liquidation, and you could see all their liquidations is tame compared to this one. Same thing, same exact thing. So not only can you wreck yourself, but you're also doing disservice to everyone else in the community. So just don't do it, guys. Don't do it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, guys. I said a lot there, so I'm going to chill with my White Claw for a little bit and catch my breath. And let's do some Q&A. Those of you guys that super chatted me early, I apologize because the chat is going so fast. I'm missing him. So, Christo, appreciate that. So a lot of people, I apologize I missed it because I went on a rant there. Here's another thing. I didn't mention before, right? And here's another thing. I mean, it's really obvious if you think about it. This capital gains tax, most likely it's not going to go through, but let's just pretend. Let's just pretend it does go through. You only pay capital gains tax if you sell, right? Now, if you hold it and you're holding for long term, you don't have to worry about it. This only happens if you actually take a profit, right? Or if you trade. But if you're saying you're just buying Bitcoin and you just leave it there, you don't have to worry about capital gains tax until you actually sell it. And that could be years down the road, right? So there's another portion to this that you only have to worry about this if you're selling or trading. But if you're simply buying or holding, let's say you've been holding VET or ADA or Link or Bitcoin or whatever for years, you don't have to worry about it yet, right? So there's another component to this that people are missing. So just want to add that in there real quick. Zoom in a little bit here. Looks like we just flashed down to 49.3, came back up. We're at 52. It's clinging on that 50,000. Let's see what happens. Sam asks, have big companies ruined it for small guys? No, they have not. Don't get confused. Bets on how much BTC left on exchanges, this dips. It's been going down. Here's the thing. Don't be confused by the good from the bad, okay? So some people confuse everything being like the same. And what do I mean by that? Well, like this. You got MicroStrategy, you got Tesla, you got Square, you got Galaxy Digital, all these guys, right? They're buying Bitcoin. They put it into reserves. They're buying it over the counter. They're not trying to pump up the price. They're just simply buying it. They want to buy as much as possible. And when they buy, even with the billions, it doesn't increase the price because they purposely don't want to increase the price, right? They want to keep it level. And it just makes sense for them. They could acquire more. This is different than the other kind of whales that are purposely manipulating the market, purposely driving things down because they could buy cheaper and they could make money by shorting. And they do this perfectly because they've been doing it for a long time. And, you know, these liquidations, you know, in my opinion, are caused by them. They timed it perfectly, right? So there's two different kind of whales out there. There's the ones that are buying, but that's not driving the price up on purpose because they're doing actually smart. They want to accumulate as much as possible behind the scenes. And then there's ones that's purposely driving things down, right? So there's two different kinds. So don't confuse the two. Robert says, if your income is under 1 million, you don't have to get that top rate capital gains tax. See, here's the thing. There's another component to it. The capital gains tax is basically focused on stocks, bonds, and crypto, right? But there's another component to that proposal is any households that's making $400,000 or above will also get their tax bracket raised up to 39.6%. So, you know, I didn't mention that. But that, again, this is just a proposal. This is not law, and many people think there's no way this is gonna get approved. So we'll see. Have been thinking about buying Sol or Compound. Which of the two? I love Solana. Solana is something that's been on fire, and today even it's still in the green. They came down a little bit. They were a big cap. They couldn't hold, but I do think they're gonna get right back up. Burst. Today, guys, I'm not gonna look at small caps. Just not the right time. If you want to ask me about big caps, ones I know of, you know, general questions, but I don't want to be looking at new unknown small caps right now. I want to buy OME, Link, VET, VThor. Okay. Do you think it's a good time? Today is definitely a good time to buy. Okay. It's pretty obvious. Most things are down significantly, even double digits, like XRP is down 19%, even Binance Coin down 12%, Doge is down 25%. You know, there's a lot of things down. VeChain even down 28%. These are some of the high flyers, right? So people are basically panicking. They're selling off what they can, right? And that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. What about CME Micro Futures 1/10? Bitcoin debut May 3rd. I don't know about the Micro Futures, but there is one that's coming up at the end of the month. We haven't made it there yet, so let's see what happens tomorrow and this weekend. That definitely could have effect, but I want to tell you guys, not every futures expiration is bad. Some actually are good. Over time, you know, they kind of equal each other out. For the most part, the last 3 months have been bad, but before that, there's a lot of future expiration that's actually good. And it looks like Bitcoin is pumping a little bit. This actually could signal the bottom. When you have like a wicked down like that, a lot of times that shows you that that could be the bottom. And we'll see. I mean, if it is, that'd be great because it's holding at this resistance basically, or this new support at 50,700. We will see. Do you think one dip is just a big correction? I mean, today, everything is correcting. Everything is correcting. But for those of you guys that's been waiting for a buying opportunity, waiting for a really good dip, because we haven't seen a really, really good one. And, you know, quite honestly, we've seen 30, 40% dips before, like real corrections. And right now, we're not there yet. So if we do stop at this and come back up, this is actually fantastic. Compared to some of the other dips we had before, this is actually quite tame. Great, Oaks. That's a great point. People don't know, you know, people's financial situation, how much they hold and stuff like that. So majority in crypto are speculators. Okay, institutions are pretty endless fiats. Yes, we can't beat them. Oh, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Stay the course. Just ask guys like Max Kaiser, Roger Ver, Tim Draper, these guys. You know, the FUD before, and even for most of us that started in 2017. I started a little bit before. But even back in 2017, 18, 19, it's endless FUD. And what has always happened is Bitcoin continue forward. It always continued forward. So this FUD right now is actually really tame. The FUD that we're hearing now is actually much, much less than what has been said in 2017, 18, 19, 20, right? So not time to fall for the FUD, because quite honestly, it is much tamer than before. Yeah, Bitcoin will prevail. Crypto will prevail. This is not the end. You know, there's like 11,000 people watching. So a lot of people watching. Thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, right? But I've been doing this for a long time. I had this channel for about 4 years. There's been many, many years where I did not get 11,000 people streaming. And there's been times where I had 200 people streaming in or 100 people streaming in, right? My message has always been the same, consistent. Focus on the bigger picture. Focus on what is coming, okay? Don't focus on the FUD. There's always go people that spread FUD because they're jealous, they don't understand, they're just frail, they have weak hands, whatever the reason. You don't listen to those guys. You make your own assumptions, you do your own homework, pay attention, and then you realize Bitcoin and crypto and decentralization is the future. And that's what you need to focus on. Because if you believe that, it causes your hands to become strong, to develop into diamonds, and then you'll prosper down the road. That has never failed in the 11 years of Bitcoin's existence. Never failed. So I would rather hold my crypto zero than pay taxes. Is there a difference between holding BTC pairs versus selling for USDT or buying BTC immediately? I don't get that. But if you're selling, which you should not do so, it doesn't matter which pair you sell it to. USDT, USDC, ETH, whatever trading pair you sell it to, it doesn't really matter. Hellcat, come on now. Don't be don't be creating some more FUD there. What do you think about the big decline in the price of VGX for last month? I think VGX, you know, they shot up really quick. A lot of people, you know, got into them. Unfortunately, they had some growing pains, and then that kind of stopped the momentum. A lot of people couldn't get in. There's some customer service issues. I'm hearing about certain things happening, right? So I think that kind of stalled them out a little bit. But overall, they're still much higher than before. And I still think they're one of the good apps to use because they have certain tokens that others don't. And you know what? So I think it's still a good hold. I think they're still going to do well in the future. Vinny, appreciate that. Tori, yes. Daniel, appreciate that. Is Flow a buy? I think Flow is a buy. I think I like Flow quite a bit. Let's zoom into a 5-minute. So we're having a recovery here, but I'm pretty sure that dip just liquidated more people. I mean, look, these long liquidations is just really like gasoline on top of a campfire, because when you have liquidations, there's massive selling. So not only are people wrecking themselves, but they're wrecking the whole community. So I honestly believe that. People won't talk about that, but I honestly believe it is wrecking the community. Have we not had, leverage introduced to the exchanges, I think Bitcoin would actually probably be in a better place. Doggish, I don't know, maybe. I didn't hear about it. Steven, I was not asked. Tomorrow I will be on Rand's show on Crypto Banter again. So that'll be at 9 a.m. So I'll be on there. I guess we're going to be talking about this. If we don't have a big recovery, we're going to be talking about possible manipulation and so forth, right? But yeah. BCH, it's a cash grab. It's a cash grab. That's it. There's no altcoin with the Bitcoin name in there that's good. They're all trying to steal the thunder of Bitcoin. So I don't like any altcoin that actually has Bitcoin in the name. I think my live chat crashed. Man, 11,000 people. I don't know how others like BitBoy or Kevin, they have 16, 20,000 people live tune in. It's crazy that I can't even keep up with this, and I have slow chat turned on. As stable coins are pegged to the dollar, does that mean holding stable for years will be affected by inflation, right? Yes. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. And what's the funny thing is? You could see that too already. Because if you're holding on a stable coin and you're watching all these altcoins go up tremendously and Bitcoin go up tremendously, your buying power goes down, right? So it's the same concept. That's actually interesting because I haven't really thought about it until you said that. Because it's just like the same thing as has in cash. If you're holding, say, $10,000 worth of cash and you're just not buying in, and Bitcoin went from 10,000, which you could have bought one, to 20,000, now you can only buy half a Bitcoin, to 40,000, now you can only buy 0.25 Bitcoin, right? You can see your buying power is decreasing. It's the same with the stablecoin. You're holding USDC, you think it's pegged to a dollar, but then Bitcoin goes up and your buying power decreases. So inflation still does hit stable coins. So it's an interesting way to look at it, right? What do you think is the lowest possible dip for DOT and ADA? I don't play that game. It's too hard to predict where to go end up, what bottom is. If you want to buy in, spread out your buys. Spread it out 4 ways, 5 ways, 10 ways. So if you have $1,000, $5,000 you want to put in, divide it out. And then put a little bit here. And then if it goes down, put a little more. If it goes down, put a little more. That's how you dollar cost average in the long haul. If it doesn't go down anymore and just keeps going up, whatever. You got in already, right? Thoughts on adding mining stocks to portfolio? That's actually an interesting thought, except Wall Street has been hammering any Bitcoin companies, except Coinbase, which actually had a dip today. But you look at Mara and Riot and stuff, they've been hammered. MicroStrategy has been hammered. So a lot of Bitcoin companies are not getting welcomed on Wall Street right now. So there's a joint effort to try to keep them down. Brunel asked about what is my favorite crypto wallet. There's a lot of mobile ones that's pretty good now. Trust Wallet is pretty good. Even Coinbase Wallet is pretty good. They're not really associated with Coinbase, but you could use them as standalone. They're pretty good. Also hardware wallets such as Ledger, Treasure. I like Ledger. but there's a lot out there, right? But mobile wallets, there's a lot that's pretty good now. And there's a lot of other universal wallets too, like Engine has one, Crypto.com has one. There's a lot out there. Thought ETH to all-time high by next week. It could. You know, we always get through this. We had something similar happen last month, and of course we got through it. You could see, right? Every time there's a dip, we get past it, and we actually make a new high. We did make a new high. Last time this happened, we ended up going and made a new high. Same thing before. So this is something definitely we're going to beat. We're going to get through it, right? So, again, not time to panic. I don't know what CXC is. What market cap do you give VeChain for next year? I mean, end of the year could be explosive. I still believe Bitcoin's going to go much higher. Way past 6 digits. $200,000, $300,000, $400,000. So I still believe that. And if that happens, altcoin season is going to be in full swing, and things could go really nuts. Really nuts. All right, guys. I'm going to end it with that. I'm feeling a little buzz from my White Claw. But you know what? So hopefully I help educate you on what's going on, right? Today we had this tax hike proposal, scared a lot of people, and then whales decided to come in and decided to short and liquidate a lot of longs again, and it drove things even lower. And plus, we have some panic sellers. We have a lot of people that's spreading FUD right now, and it's just, when you combine it all, it's just not a good situation. But here's the thing. We will get through it. We will form a new high. And all you have to really pay attention to is the bigger picture. What is going on? What's causing Bitcoin to go up in the first place? Has those fundamental things changed? Has the buying stopped? No. Nothing's changed. Fundamentals is still great as ever. Has the buying stopped? No. And there's more and more money and traction and adoption coming in each and every day. And as long as those things do not change, the fundamentals don't change, Bitcoin and crypto will go much higher. And that is the main thing you need to focus on. All right? So, thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and tune in tomorrow, 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. And also, you can check me on Crypto Banter, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good